Your dog woke up this morning thinking about you. Not about food, not about the walk, about you. And the first thing they did before you even opened your eyes was check. Is my person okay? Is my person here? Is today going to be a good day? Most owners never know this is happening. They reach for their phone, they scroll, they get up, pour coffee, and move through the morning like any other morning. And their dog watches all of it, waiting, hoping for one thing. Here's what most people don't realize. Your dog doesn't need more toys. They don't need a bigger yard or a fancier bed or an extra treat at dinner. What they need, what they have always needed, fits inside 6 ordinary moments. Moments you probably already have access to. Moments that take almost no time at all. But when you understand what they actually mean to your dog, when you see what's happening on the inside while these moments unfold, everything changes. This is what your dog hopes you'll understand. For life. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more dog lovers who actually want to understand what their dog is really saying. Act 1. The morning greeting. Every morning, your dog performs an act of pure faith. They come to you, tail moving, eyes soft, body low and open. They offer themselves completely before they know how you'll respond. Think about that for a second. They don't know if you slept well. They don't know if you're stressed. They don't know if today is going to be hard. They come to you anyway. Here's what's actually happening in that moment. Researchers who study canine attachment behavior have found that dogs experience a cortisol spike, a measurable stress response when their owner leaves or becomes emotionally unavailable. And the morning, that threshold between night and day, is one of the highest stakes moments in your dog's emotional world. When you acknowledge them first before the phone, before the news, before the noise, you are telling their nervous system, the world is safe. We're still us. When you don't, that cortisol spike lingers, sometimes for hours. You think you're just slow in the morning, but actually, to your dog, how you greet them sets the emotional temperature for their entire day. So the next time your eyes open and your dog is already there, don't reach for your phone. Reach for them first. 10 seconds, a hand on their side, your voice, low and warm, saying their name. That's not a small thing. To them, that's everything. Act 2. Undivided attention. Here's a question. When was the last time you looked at your dog, really looked, without also doing something else? Not while scrolling, not while watching something, not while thinking about tomorrow, just looked at them. Dogs read human faces with a sophistication that still surprises researchers. A 2021 study from the University of Helsinki confirmed that dogs track human eye gaze and emotional expression with the same neural pathways used for social bonding in humans. They are reading your face constantly, and they know in ways they cannot explain, but absolutely feel when your eyes are with them and when they're somewhere else. Here's what most people don't realize. Your attention is not just pleasant for your dog, it is physiologically regulating. When you sit with them, phone down, body turned toward them, eyes present, their heart rate slows, their breathing deepens. Their body releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that floods a parent holding a newborn. You are, in that moment, their anchor. And here's where it gets even more powerful. You don't need an hour. You don't need a special ritual. You need 5 minutes of real presence, real stillness, and your dog will carry that with them for the rest of the day. This is where most owners get it wrong. They think quantity matters. It doesn't. Quality does. Be with your dog, fully, even briefly. That is the second act of love they are hoping for. Act 3. The sound of your voice. Say your dog's name right now, out loud. Notice something. Your dog, wherever they are, just moved. An ear shifted, a head lifted, eyes found you. They didn't do that for any other sound. Animal cognition research shows that dogs do not just recognize their name as a recall cue. They recognize the emotional tone wrapped around it. The warmth, the rhythm, the particular way you say it that has been encoded in their memory since the first weeks they knew you. It is one of the most personal sounds in their world. But here's what makes this even more meaningful. It's not just their name. Your voice, used warmly and frequently, functions as a biological regulator for your dog. Studies on canine stress response show that dogs in unfamiliar or mildly threatening environments show measurably faster recovery when their owner speaks to them in a calm, low tone. even without touch, even without eye contact. Your voice alone is medicine. So talk to your dog, not constantly, not performatively, but genuinely. Narrate the small things. Tell them what you're doing. Say their name the way it deserves to be said, not as a command, as a greeting. Hey, I see you. I'm here. That's all it takes. Act 4. Safe sleep. Your dog sleeps between 12 and 16 hours a day, and every single time they close their eyes, they are making a choice. Is this place safe enough? In the wild, a dog that sleeps in an unsafe location doesn't survive. That instinct is still inside your dog. It runs deep. Here's what's actually happening when your dog circles before lying down, or presses themselves into a corner, or seeks out the same spot every night. They are not being particular. They are performing an ancient safety ritual. They are checking whether they can truly let go. A 2019 study from the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna found that dogs show significantly lower nighttime cortisol levels when sleeping in spaces that carry their owner's scent, even without the owner physically present. The scent alone was enough to signal safety. Think about that for a second. You don't have to share your bed. You don't have to change your routines. You just have to give your dog a sleeping space that is genuinely theirs, consistent, scent familiar, protected from foot traffic and surprise. And if you do one extra thing, if you take 30 seconds before bed to go to where they sleep, kneel down, and say goodnight, you are not being sentimental. You are completing their safety check. You are the last signal they need before they can fully rest. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your dog, hit like and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more dog owners who want to love their dogs the right way. Act 5. Gentle touch. There is a kind of touch your dog lives for, and it is probably not what you think. It is not the enthusiastic pat on the head. It is not the full-body ruffle you give when you come home excited. It is slow, deliberate, quiet. Behavioral scientists have observed that prolonged, gentle stroking, particularly along the back, behind the ears, and across the chest, triggers a measurable parasympathetic response in dogs. Heart rate down, muscle tension released, breathing slower. The body enters a state that is the physiological opposite of stress. But here's what most people don't realize. This kind of touch only works when it's offered on the dog's terms. A dog who leans into your hand is having a fundamentally different experience than a dog who tolerates your hand while looking away. One is receiving care, the other is enduring it. Watch your dog when you touch them. Do they press closer? Do they exhale? Do their eyes go soft and half closed? Or do they go still in a different way, stiff, polite, waiting for it to be over? When your dog leans in, when they offer you their weight, they are telling you something remarkable. They are telling you, with you, I don't have to be on guard. That is not a small thing. That is the definition of trust. Act 6. Play on their terms. Here is something almost no one talks about. Your dog has a playful self that only comes out when they feel completely safe. And most dogs, even in loving homes, spend less time in that state than they should. Not because their owners don't try, but because the play is often on the human schedule, human's energy, human's idea of what play looks like. Here's what's actually happening when you watch your dog play freely, when they bounce sideways for no reason, when they grab something just to carry it proudly around the room, when they roll in the grass with that particular kind of abandon. You are watching them at their most alive. Animal cognition research shows that dogs engage in what researchers call object play and social play for the same reasons humans do: to rehearse social bonds, to release accumulated stress, and to experience what can only be described as joy. But joy, for a dog, requires a specific condition. They have to feel safe enough to be ridiculous. And here's where it gets even more powerful. When you follow their lead, when you get on the floor, when you let them pick the game, when you match their energy instead of directing it, you are not just playing with your dog, you are becoming part of their safe world. You are being chosen as someone they want to be fully themselves around. That is the 6th act, and it might be the one they hope for most. 6 acts. A morning greeting that says, I see you. Attention that says, you have all of me. The voice that says, you are known. A safe place to sleep that says, you are protected. A touch that says, you are cared for. Play that says, with you, I can be free. None of these cost anything. None of them require training or tools or a perfect schedule. They require presence, intention, the willingness to show up even briefly in the small moments your dog has been quietly asking you to notice. Your dog already loves you. They decided that a long time ago. This video was never about earning that love. It was about understanding it and returning it in the language they actually speak. You know your dog. You always have. Now you know how to tell them. We always knew you understood, and so do you.